Hi, I'm Jesse. Thanks for pressing or clicking on play for this video. Today we're talking about a movie that has been in the news because of an interview that Margot Robbie did with Vogue magazine very recently. Something coming up next year, 2020. I'm talking about Birds of Prey. This is going to be the 8th loosely tied to the DCEU film. It's a spin-off from 2016's The Suicide Squad and boasts a pretty strong cast here. The full name for it is Birds of Prey and the Fabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. And it does come out next year, February 7th of 2020. And this is directed by Cathy Yan, who's adapting a screenplay from Christine Hodson, who also wrote the Bumblebee film. And it's confirmed again that this is supposed to be a rated R film. Now, one thing that we got very recently was actually confirmation of the budget. This movie is being made through a few studios, one of which is Lucky Chap, which is a media company co-owned by Margot Robbie. And Margot Robbie told Vogue magazine, actually, the budget's about $75 million and it's on schedule and on budget. So we're going to hit that February 2020 release date. Margot Robbie was on Jimmy Fallon a little bit earlier in 2019, and he asked her about the long name for this movie, like, what the heck? And she said this is a quote, "It's not a very serious movie, so we thought the title should reflect that. Birds of Prey makes it sound really serious, and that's kind of like Harley adding her, don't worry, I'm in this too. I love a long title." So it's going to be fun, it's going to be edgy, it's going to be rated R, and it's going to be crazy. Teaser footage arrived earlier in the year that gave us a good look at each of the characters, which, by the way, are Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, Journey Smollett-Bell is going to be playing Black Canary, Mary Elizabeth Winstead is Huntress, Rosie Perez is Renee Montoya, Ella J. Basco is Cassandra Cain, Ewan McGregor, Black Mask, Chris Messina is going to be playing the assassin hitman Victor Zsasz, and this movie, because of the plot, which I'll tell you here in a second, might potentially have the Joker in it, probably a stand-in. So Jared Leto was the Joker in 2016. I know we have the Joaquin Phoenix coming up. That's a completely different standalone film. This movie began filming in January of 2019 and wrapped in April. Same time that Jared Leto was on set for Morbius, which is a Sony Marvel film about a vampire, all the way out in Manchester, England. So he couldn't make it. But now that the movie's in post, it's not to say that he might shoot a couple scenes in post as the Joker. But I believe the rumor is that there was a Joker and that it's a stand-in for him. So a Joker maybe that we don't see. So that will make sense when I tell you the plot here. And this is a quote. "Birds of Prey will follow a sort of unlikely team up between Harley, Black Canary, Huntress, and Renee Montoya, the latter of whom is on a path of self-discovery after splitting up with the Joker." I imagine that's the beginning of the movie, the split up. She goes out on a bender, meets these people in the streets. They find this girl. So together the woman must work together to rescue a young girl named Cassandra Cain from one of Gotham's most vicious crime lords, Black Mask. So this is how I imagine it going. The beginning of the movie is Harley and Joker, they break up. Harley runs out to the street. She gets a little crazy on the street. She meets all kinds of crazy other people in the clubs and on the alleys. They form this little girl gang, and through that they end up finding Cassandra Cain, who's on the run. They decide to help her, and Black Mask and his hooligans descend upon them in an attempt to capture Cassandra Cain. So Erin Bennett was actually being interviewed as well. She's the costume designer for the film, and they were asked about the costumes because we have a few, and I'll show them here on the screen, that are rather interesting. And in the article, it basically said that the costumes would be less male fantasy than Harley's outfit from Suicide Squad with the hot pants and everything, and what she'd be putting out. So this is what she said. "That's what happens when you have a female producer, director, writer." She's talking about Cathy Yan. And then Margot Robbie said, "Yeah, it's definitely less male gazy." So there was another interview, Mary Elizabeth Winstead said during that interview, "The filming began in early 2019 and we've seen multiple costumes for Harley already based on set photos." So let's talk about when we might see some real footage for this film. So on average, and kind of in general, a marketing campaign fully ramped up starts about 6 months out from the release date of a film. And if this movie's supposed to come out February 7th of 2020, 6 months backed up from that, we're at August 2019 when we will see something, fully ramped up from this film. So this is the Joker coming out. And then we had the announcement as well that Warner Brothers is not going to be doing Hall H at San Diego Comic-Con 2019. So that kind of makes sense because they're a little bit early to make the announcements for Harley Quinn, and it's a little bit late to do something for the Joker, which will be coming out 2 months after that, well, October. So when filming wrapped, actually, back in April of 2019, they got a bunch of gifts, the cast, and they had this big wrap party, and we got a look at the new logo as well. You can see, actually, it's pretty interesting if you look at the design here on the screen. In between the letters, there's nods to each of the characters. So you got like an arrow for Huntress, there's a bat for Harley, there's a microphone for Black Canary. You can see Cassandra Cain and a bat Batarang. I think it's a hat for Renee. And there's some other images too in there, little kind of silhouettes that I'm sure are nods to Black Mask and maybe the plot itself, if that's a diamond there. There's also this really persistent rumor that should this movie do well, it could lead to a trilogy for Harley Quinn. That would include Gotham City Sirens. I've also heard rumblings of spin-offs as well. Batgirl, of course, is out there, but also Black Canary, if this does well, might get a spin-off that would feature Green Arrow. So there's a lot to look for. Nothing's confirmed, of course, for that. They're kind of playing a wait-and-see game right now to see how things do in the box office and with critical reception. Also want to point out somebody really cool, Michelle Stylin. She's a really famous skater and founder of Moxie Roller Skates in Long Beach, California, and she's Margot Robbie's stunt double. She's badass. Check these out. But that's basically all we know at this point, which is, again, the beginning of June 2019, just giving you a timestamp depending on when you're watching this. Let's continue the conversations down below in the comment section. If you're watching this later and something's been announced or you learned something new, definitely let me know. I want to hear that from you guys as well. And if you enjoy videos like this, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so. We do upload new comic book, superhero, film, anime content every week, as well as a weekly live show on Thursday evenings. I'm Jesse, this is JLS Comics, and I'll see you soon.